Hello again and welcome to DanWhiteBooks, the book review channel where we add insights into the worlds of literature for both those who do read and those who don't. Today's book is a highly acclaimed piece of modern fiction and recent winner of the 2021 Booker Prize. Today I'm reviewing The Promise by Damon Galgut. The Promise is a fictional work telling a tale of a South African family saga for a number of decades. The book is written by author Damon Galgut, a very highly acclaimed writer, being shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2003 for The Good Doctor and in 2010 for In a Strange Room. 11 years later, and here we are. After a long time, Damon Galgut has been awarded the Booker Prize for The Promise. Let's dive in. The Promise is quite a unique book, particularly in the way it is composed and structured. There are many different characters, however the main of these is a girl called Amor. From the start of the book, Amor is devastated at the loss of her mother Rachel. You read of her struggle and her unwillingness to comprehend the stark situation that is unravelling around her. All of this takes place in the backdrop of South Africa in 1986, during a very difficult and turbulent time in the country's history. As this book is considered to be a family saga, there are a lot of different characters, all connected to one another through family ties. Amor has a sister named Astrid and a brother called Anton, both who play central roles along with her father Manny. The main plot revolves around a broken promise Amor's father Manny made to his wife on her deathbed, and that is to give the family farm and the house to the family servant Salome. The start of this book can be a little off-putting if you don't know what to expect. It did require me to take the trusty pen out and make sure I knew who was who. It is particularly important to know in what ways the characters link to one another, as Galgut loves to change focus suddenly and very freely. If you're not paying attention, you may lose track of where you are, because things certainly like to move about in this novel. However, that's not really a bad thing. In fact, it's quite brilliant how free-flowing the narrative of this work is. This is a book that is running with its own style and expertly using it to create a novel unlike any I've read, indeed this year or in any other. However, when I first started this book, I was slightly confused. There is little structure, I will admit. There are basically no chapters, no speech marks, and no sooner with the main character Amor as you are with a homeless man wandering on the street. This book has the potential to fragment to dust, to collapse and just lose itself because it's trying something that is incredibly difficult to pull off. And you know what? It succeeds. This is a very poetic work. It's like a river flowing onward and onward. You fly through the minds of many people, each time gathering a greater insight into them and to the story surrounding. You discover people or things that have little relevance except to get you to the point where the story can progress further. And when it's done well, it's incredibly immersive. The dots connect and keep connecting in strange ways, but you always find yourself where you need to be. This is quite an achievement. This book's structure is like a complex equation. It looks rather alien, but very much makes perfect sense once you know what you're looking for. Even the things that seem without purpose have relevance and add to the feeling of connectivity this book so strongly cements. There is more than just the style of the narrative to mention in this work, for it also dives into the changing political landscape in South Africa and brings awareness to current struggles, even in a time where things appear to be so different. This book starts in the 80s and comes to the present day. Despite the black servant Salome being promised the family house, only the very few seem willing to give it to her. She faces every hurdle in getting what is promised. This moral failing is likely put up by the author to reflect current day struggles in a country that is still very much divided. This is a very different book to the majority you will find on bookshelves. It's split in only 4 parts, each denoting a character in Amor's family, and that's all. No numbered chapters, no subheadings, no quotation marks for speech, and a very small amount of paragraphs. It starts and it doesn't seem to end between sentences. It just keeps flowing, and you can find yourself in a church, then in a car, and then back in the family farm, all within a paragraph. If you can stomach the constant change from one person or one thing to another, then there is certainly something very special here. A book written by a gifted author who holds great power over his craft. The narrative is unique, and the descriptions are also vivid and true to life. This is a sad work, but neither leaning on the extreme to be perceived as unrealistic. It is true of life in that suffering is always waiting for us. It is our reaction to such that defines us as being human. You may well be put off by the first 40 or so pages of this book, because it certainly is a lot to take in. I mentioned earlier that I did write down who was who from the beginning, because everybody comes about very suddenly and the author likes to dart between them quite quickly. If you do struggle, I would urge you to keep reading and take some notes if you can. It takes a little bit of getting used to this book, but it will certainly entrance you in the end. It is an exceptional piece of literature from a very talented writer. So with all things considered, I would rate this book a 93 out of 100. If you would like to see further information on this book, please check out my video description below. Of course, thank you very much for watching. If you'd also like to read with me next week's book, I'll probably be reviewing this one quite quickly. I've got a few videos to do, and then a top 10 for the end of the year. The next book I'm reading is Richard Osman, The Man Who Died Twice. This is his latest mystery thriller. Already reading it, it's very addictive. It's one of the best-selling books in the UK, and a sequel to the Thursday Murder Club, which I reviewed on this channel not long ago. There'll be further information about this book in the description as well, and I thank you very much again for coming here to watch a book review. If you're interested in The Promise, please do pick it up and please stick with it, because it is quite a unique and very memorable and moving book. My friends, thank you very much again for watching. I will see you here again soon. Bye bye.